welcome back to Johnson Branch Farm. I'm here in part of the farm in the garden space where we're growing all of our produce. I'm happy to report I have not had to buy any sort of vegetables or greens from the grocery store. So that's one thing I can check off on the list. And if my chickens would get it together, I would be able to check eggs off, but you know, they're slacking still, like I said last time. So I keep finding these clusters of tomato seedlings. So a tomato must have fallen here and the seeds germinate. I'm having a really hard time pulling them out because I spend so much time and so much effort. Here's another one. Starting tomato seedlings only for this to happen. That one growing. So I think next year I'm gonna have to fight the tomato plants in this bed, not the weeds as much. The zinnias are doing it as well. I walk all over the garden. There's another one. Cluster. There. Over there. They're everywhere. It's funny, you work so hard to get things to grow. Then you come out here and you're like, really? You're growing in the place I don't want you to grow in the time of year you can't be growing. Really yummy hot sauce. The rest are green. And so I'm gonna put some habaneros in it too as well. Wanting to harvest these cayennes. I'm surprised I still have peppers right now, because last year at this time we were clearing the beds out because we had a frost coming, but this year, even next week, our first official frost date is October 15th, and that's like next week, and there is no freezing in the forecast, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to give them as long as they can stand before they're gone. But these ones are really tiny. So I picked the last of the jalapeno because I think these are going to be officially done. There's one more. It's got some blossoms on it, but I don't think anything will come to maturity by the time the cold weather actually hits. And all of these little sprouts in here are Zinnia Sprouts, because I had a big zinnia sitting right here. So all these are gonna have to go. I really have not been out here a lot lately. Number one, it has rained like crazy. The last week, I think it literally rained for a week straight, so it was just like a quick trip to run down here and check on it and leave. So that was kind of a bummer, but the rain has since passed and it's brought in the cooler weather and the wonderful change in color with the fall leaves. And I think it caused some carrot rot. That's what looks like that happened, because it's just been so wet. Everything has just exploded. So that is definitely one bonus. I didn't do a lot of seed sowing before the weather hit, so a lot of my seeds hopefully didn't get jostled or moved. My carrots are sprouting, so that's super exciting. But you can see things like this. Like, I don't know what's going on here. If it's just like rot or something's in there eating it. Even this one too. Like, it just got, yeah, that's dead, because I didn't even have to hardly pull that one out. That's Bok Choy. But let's see what's growing. Let's see. We've got a bunch of different sprouts. I didn't go too crazy with trying to like separate everything. It's either a cabbage or a broccoli. I've just kind of plopped it all in there because that's how I roll. This is a volunteer tomato plant, and I'm getting some tomatoes on it, so I've just let it go. It's whatever. It's okay. We're actually not scheduled for a frost anytime soon, so I think I might get some more tomatoes off of it. This is a garden huckleberry. I need to come harvest off of here, but it's doing really well. These are not good for fresh eating, but they make really good pie filling and really good jams or jellies. So that's a really good option if berries are hard for you to grow like me. Marigolds taken off. These are nasturtiums. Check out these dahlias. Like, I had all but given up hope on them, and I'm glad I didn't, because they're just, these last week, maybe this last week, it's just exploded. So pretty. So pretty. These are dry beans that really I need to get out here and harvest, but they're called rainbow butter beans. And they're really pretty. They're all different colors, but a sweet elder in our church asked me to grow those, so those are for her. And this is all sweet potatoes. They are growing phenomenally, so we will have to be pulling these out soon, especially since they're encroaching in on my spring mix that's starting to sprout. Let's see. And I did another batch of spring mix there. All of these, this is a Napa cabbage. I just kind of placed bok choys here and there because they go quick. This is a kohlrabi. This is a cabbage here as well. They're all doing so well. Let's see, more Zinnia Sprouts. Which I hate pulling these up. Don't like that, but what choice do I have? These are my radishes, and they're ready for harvest. I can start harvesting these. That one's really big. I love radishes. They're so, such satisfaction in growing radishes. And then I've got more spring mix, which if you saw my fall planting video, I just planted radishes and lettuce all together. And I love it. I'm so glad I did. But these are doing really well, so I can start harvesting them. This bok choy looks like it's about ready. This is a Napa. See, I don't understand why that one is like thriving, but like, where is it? These are like puny. I don't know. I feel like, well, maybe I did plant these. I did plant these out sooner. But this is arugula that I direct seeded. This is kind of a whole leafy green patch. I've got red Russian kale, some chard, more cabbage. This is some purple mustard greens. I've got beets. Oh, these are starting to pop up. I planted these a while ago, but then reseeded that. That over there is tatsoi. These are all kohlrabi. Another zinnia. Let's see, I've got just more greens. Another arugula patch. I really like that in a salad. Some more brassicas. These would be probably broccolis or cauliflowers. Lots of cabbage. I did lots of cabbage, lots of choy. And that kind of stuff. I really want to make a lot of sauerkraut for people and that sort of thing. These are my carrots where I did the board trick, all of these were outside of the board and grew wonderful. Those that were in the board didn't grow at all. Go figure. But I reseeded it, and you can see I've got more carrots sprouting up. So I will thin those out when they get to be about this big. And these are so good to eat raw, like in a salad or stir fry. When I plan what I'm going to plant, I always plant above and beyond for things like that. Stuff that didn't make it or that's died off, I can replace. I've got another row here of just kohlrabi and cabbages. Oh, that might be my cue. Aaron's taking the kids hunting, so he might be saying it's time to wrap it up. And then over here with my other cabbages that I've got, see, like this one, that one's gone. I've got Brussels sprouts, and they're doing so good. Look how happy it is. These were actually from the round that I did, that I thought the entire trays died in off my back porch. Bugs had eaten it down. They just weren't doing good. And then I ended up starting another round, but this one and this one came from that. But then down over here, see, I've got all more cabbages. I need to come through and mulch all of this. But this is a Brussels, this is a Brussels. So yeah, these are all Brussels. So exciting. This is my one kale that has survived since spring. It survived the hog attack. It's still going strong, and I'm still eating off of it, so yay. I've got more just blue curled kale in here. So like what I did was, like, this one is next to a Napa, which will go fast, and so I'll harvest this one off, and then that will give that plenty of room, and the choys will be gone. So it all works. You just gotta rotate it, and that's what I'm learning big time, is how to rotate and how to keep the weeds out of the garden. But this is a little mustard green. Here's a kale. More kale. Can't have too much, especially when you got animals. But I love it. Look at all that green food that will just carry us through this, hopefully, fall and winter. I've got these bamboo arches that I put up that I can put agribon over, that will keep the frost off of everything when it starts to really snow and get real icy all the time. This stuff can tolerate a little bit of a freeze, but not too much of one. Yay! And then all of this I'm working on little by little, clearing out and weeding all this creeping weed, whatever this is. I can't remember what it's called. It's just kind of taking over. So I've been bit by bit clearing that out. You can see down over here where the pumpkins were. It's just taken over. So I got to get in here one day this week and really, I keep saying that, but I really got to do it. Let's see, these are all my peppers. I have more cayennes I need to pick because I want to make that yummy hot sauce again. I finally have some bell peppers growing, which they've decided to do something now here towards the end, but a lot of this is just kind of petering out. Flowers, I've cleared a lot of flowers. We really didn't eat through a lot of the celery. I've been feeding it to the animals because I still had so much in my freezer from last year that I used. But the dahlias are taking over. Butterfly on the flowers. Look at this oregano's taking over. I really got to get out here and give it some love. More zinnias still. So pretty. This is the real life garden tour for you. My winter squash look like they are about ready to harvest over here. These are just butternuts that I planted this year. And then I've got some sweet potatoes. I had extra slips, so I just stuck them in here too and just kind of let it go crazy, and it did. So yeah, that's our little garden so far. I wanted to give y'all a little update on it because it feels like it's been a while. Maybe it hasn't. These, I forgot to tell you, are parsnips. So I'm excited to see how they grow, but they look kind of like this weed, so hopefully I don't get overzealous and accidentally pull them out. Real quick too, I want to show you the pile of leaves and ash that have been breaking down. They were actually in a burn pit on my in-laws property, so Aaron scooped me up some. There's some obviously pretty big sticks, but I'm going to go through here and spread out what I can. See it? You can see it. It's like already breaking down. And I'm going to put that, I'm just going to sprinkle a thin layer on top of this bed and this bed, because eventually they'll be put to sleep for the winter and I'll just be growing kind of on this half of the garden. My plan for fall, the rest of fall into the winter, is I'm going to grow in this bed and this bed. But this bed right here, I'll make more of those bamboo arches and put maybe like a greenhouse plastic over it, and I'll do fresh greens in there for us to eat over the winter. I used my greenhouse last year and it worked phenomenal, but I want to crank out more than what that space will allow me to do. So that's the plan. And then I'll just keep haying it over with the bedding from the animals, the goats mainly, because that's not a hot manure. You can put that right on your beds and grow in it. And I believe that's one reason why my garden is doing so well, is that little trick right there. But the sun is starting to go down. See it peeking over the trees. Certainly not perfect, but man, it's enough for me. Also, these are snap peas. I had this little guy right here got knocked over in a storm, so I gotta get that back up. And then these are more snap peas, which I'll clear these out and they'll take over growing up this trellis as well. And I'm just gonna leave these up all winter. They're not hurting anybody, and just see how they go. I might actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might build a smaller version of this over on that bed, and we'll see. My brain goes all over the place and I start thinking, but looks like they're loading up. Wonder where they're headed off to. Supposed to take them hunting tonight, so we'll see. I think my time out here is drawing to a close. I want to get a few more radish seeds in the ground tonight, and I've got a couple seedlings in the greenhouse that I want to get out here tonight so that they can start thriving. And I'm just gonna keep enjoying this space because, man, is this awesome. This is what it's all about. This is what homesteading and gardening is all about. Just the beauty and the nourishment, both physically and mentally and emotionally. I cannot even begin to express how healing and full of rest this place is. I can't give this place any credit. It's the Lord. He's blessed me with this space, but He's definitely used it to be just that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for following along. I hope my garden is an inspiration and a testimony to you, and that you're able to get out there and do the same and enjoy the same thing in your life. So may the Lord bless and keep you until we meet again.